I think the thing that we forget too is that just giving the people in other countries the clinical skills isn't going to run a successful center.
All right, day 2. I said that we would find Molly. Guess who's here?
Molly!
In Africa, not just Kenya, the whole of Africa, there are experts. There are people who know what they're doing. There are people who can help these kids, and they are resourceful. Even if we don't have all the resources in the world, we are resourceful with what we do have. We can make this happen, so we need to be able to empower the locals to look at the local people for the experts as well. Each person who comes in has a different perspective, has a different methodology that they believe in. When you try and bring a different methodology, use it for 6 months, here comes another volunteer, hey, actually, why have you tried this? And then that changes, and then you have another person come, oh no, but you know, you should have done this way. Okay, let's try that. You have no consistency, the children are not going to get consistency, and what they require in interventions is consistency. So it's important to get self-educated as well. Educate the person who is going to be providing the services rather than trying to change the services, and let them take the lead on that.
Now, is that an issue that you initially came in with? Like you were trying to do that?
So
no?
we saw in the country where we initially started, one of the very first things we realized is that there were people there who wanted to do the work, and what they needed was training, and what they needed was education, and they needed to learn about advocacy. And so unfortunately what we did there is we created what Pooja's talking about, kind of this revolving door of international volunteers who didn't know each other, who didn't know what the people before them had done, who didn't know what the people after them were going to do, and couldn't implement and couldn't make it sustainable. So when we started working with Pooja here at Kaizora, we had an exclusive training agreement, so we were the people providing training. When she was contacted by volunteers, she'd say, go ahead and reach out to Global Autism Project, because just having a random person show up for 2 weeks wasn't what they needed and wasn't helping. And so with Skill Core, what we did is we created that consistency. We created the solution to the issue of random people coming in, working for a few hours, days, leaving, and then nothing getting implemented, and certainly not being implemented with any kind of fidelity. So what we do is we do have people come in for 2 weeks at a time. We also have a clinical coordinator who helps coordinate the efforts of those people, who tells the people coming in what they had worked on previously. All of our work is informed by our local partner. Our work is predicated on the idea that with the right resources and the right education, Pooja's got this. That the best person to work with a kid with autism in Kenya is a Kenyan. The best person to work with a kid with autism in Nigeria is a Nigerian, and so on and so forth. And we've seen this time and time again. And especially as we get into cultures that are really different than our own, where we literally don't know how to use the bathroom. Our toilet training isn't going to be that helpful. We don't know how to eat with chopsticks the way the kids in China know how to eat with chopsticks. Yeah, exactly. That's right. What was that? I forget.
Which country was it? Until you said, come sit, in an American accent, they wouldn't respond.
Yeah. What was that? Nigeria. The staff had trained.
When they were talking in between.
Yeah, they had trained, that's right. So they had watched videos, and they had learned to say, come here, and the children completely ignored it. And I asked this question of, in Nigeria, if you want a child to come to sit at the table in a typical classroom, what would you say? And they'd say, come and sit. And the child literally got up and came and sat down. It's like, oh, that's what you meant. So it's so important for it to be locally informed. And we teach our volunteers that all the time, is you have to ask questions. You have to ask. It's easy to go in with absolute judgment, and you have to go in and you have to ask questions. You have to understand, why are they doing what they're doing? There's probably a very good reason, even if it's that a child is tied up. Why are they doing what they're doing? Even if it's that a child is hidden away. Why are they doing what they're doing? And we know, because we've seen it time and time again for 15 years, that the best people to have conversations with parents are people who can at least identify with them on a cultural level. One of my favorite moments ever at Kaizora was I came in and a mom came to me and she had questions about her son, and I was like, I don't work here, I'm just visiting. And one of the other moms said, don't ask her, go and ask Pooja. Her team was working with them all the last few weeks. And I was like, yes, go ask Pooja, don't ask me. Because really, all we want the Global Autism Project to do is to build local capacity. That's all we're trying to do. again, the best person to work with a kid with autism here is a Kenyan person. And I think the biggest piece for us is just that sustainability piece. It's to be able to come back to Kaizura. Whenever I come here, it's like I remember going to baby Kaizura, and this is bigger Kaizura, bigger Kaizura is coming soon, and to see that actual progress versus when it's just a revolving door of volunteers and it's just on that one person to try to synthesize all the information. It just doesn't work as well.
And I want to add that even with the revolving door of volunteers, what happens is it's hard work for us.
Yeah.
Each time somebody comes in, it's, this is here, these are the people, this is what we've been doing. Oh, you want to show us this? Okay, fine, let's look after you right now. In the meanwhile, there's so much that goes into it and trying to understand what they're saying and how is it going to fit into the system. Whereas with the Global Autism Project, they know the system already.
Yeah.
So it's easier to be able to say, okay, no, this is not going to work. It's already pre-filtered before it comes to me for the next level of filtration, basically.
I think the thing that we forget too is that just giving the people in other countries the clinical skills isn't going to run a successful center. So our model also trains in leadership skills, trains in operational skills, trains in how do you run a business. Not only how do you work with kids, that's well and good. Yeah, but if all you can do is work with kids and nobody knows you exist, who cares that you can work with kids? So that's part of it as well, is that bit of training.
Can you do it again? I don't know what's happening.